Welcome to Deep Dive Defense, military and aerospace enthusiasts. Over here we give rare insights you won't hear elsewhere. In today's video, we are going to talk about a historic moment in the evolution of air power. China's unveiling of its previously totally unknown sixth-generation fighter jet. This unexpected and sudden first flight is set to significantly impact the future trajectory of air power in general. The new aircraft is in line with the general framework of what makes a sixth-generation fighter, notably entering a new kinematic class. This means it will combine range, speed, and altitude in ways that will surpass anything previously seen. Throughout the history of air power, there have always been outlier fighter jet concepts that didn't conform to the prevailing paradigms of their respective generations. Paradigms set by the competition between the Cold War superpowers. One such example is the Soviet MiG-31, a direct descendant of the MiG-25. Both the MiG-25 and MiG-31 were vastly different in size, operational speed, and altitude compared to their contemporaries. These unconventional and radical designs were developed to counter equally unique aircraft, such as the US XB-70 Valkyrie and the SR-71 Blackbird. The new Chinese sixth-generation fighter is produced by Chengdu and rumored to be called J-36, referred from here on the JXX. This heavy fighter jet fuses the kinematic power of the MiG-31 with features from the fifth generation, such as low observability, commonly called stealth, and advanced sensor capabilities. What sets the JXX apart is a critical key addition: efficiency. Specifically, propulsion efficiency, combined with a lightweight design and a large internal fuel volume, creates a kinematically more efficient aircraft. This pursuit of efficiency aims to significantly enhance the aircraft's range, one of the most vital elements of air power. When a fighter jet is capable of operating at high altitudes and speeds without engaging its afterburners, it is referred to be capable of supercruising. However, even supercruise has its limitations in fifth-generation fighters in terms of range. This is where the Chengdu JXX sixth-generation fighter will distinguish itself. While estimates for range vary and can't be well estimated, it appears feasible that the JXX will be capable of supercruising for ranges in the ballpark of 2,000 kilometers, or possibly even beyond, more than double the typical supercruise range of fifth-generation fighters. When it comes to propulsion, the JXX differs significantly from other fighter jets. Rather than the usual two-engine layout, the aircraft is equipped with 3 engines. This makes sense, considering the JXX's larger dimensions, which make it substantially larger than even the largest fifth-generation aircraft, like the Chengdu J-20. However, it is likely that the choice of 3 engines was driven by more than just high-thrust requirements. It seems probable that the adoption of a hybrid or adaptive propulsion system played a central role in this decision. It appears very likely that the 2 outer engines are the new WS-15 turbofans, which are expected to bring China's engine technology to parity with what the US and Russia were capable in the 2000s and 2010s era in terms of turbofan designs. The third engine, however, is likely to be a high-altitude optimized propulsion. The indicator for this is the unique intake design, located behind the cockpit on the upside of the fuselage. This intake design would make sense if high-altitude sustained cruising is the primary operating mode for the aircraft. The problem with such a design arises when the aircraft is maneuvering nose-up, which reduces the airflow towards the intake. Fortunately, the JXX mitigates this issue by employing conventional underbelly air intakes for the 2 other engines, thereby avoiding the risks and complications associated with the upper fuselage intake. From this, we can deduce that the central third engine is likely specifically designed for sustained high-altitude cruise. At such altitudes, turbofan engines lose efficiency and their inherent advantages. In this operation regime, turbojets with higher compression ratios become superior to turbofans, and even high-end ramjet engines start to make sense as well. While a ramjet is not entirely ruled out, it seems much more plausible that a modified WS-15 variant, one with additional compressor stages and without the turbofan bypass, could be the candidate for the central engine. This would create a hybrid propulsion system that improves efficiency in the high-altitude operation regime, which typically ranges between 20 to 25 kilometers. In such an operation scenario, the outer WS-15 engines might operate without afterburners, focusing on efficiency, while the central engine, potentially a high compression ratio turbojet, could engage its afterburner when higher speeds are required. Interestingly, the underbelly intakes of the JXX are not of the diverterless supersonic intake, DSI type, as seen in some recent fighters, but instead resemble a more conventional diverter design, similar to the one found on the F-22. This is another indication that the JXX is designed to operate at much higher speeds than the J-20, possibly exceeding Mach 2 and potentially reaching speeds in the region of Mach 3. Another critical feature that the JXX will almost certainly incorporate is a thrust vector control, TVC system. While earlier, kinematically comparable fighters, such as the MiG-31, did not feature thrust vectoring, the new JXX would greatly benefit from such a system. The sophisticated fly-by-wire system, combined with TVC, would allow the aircraft to perform significant evasive maneuvers at altitudes where the thin air limits the effectiveness of conventional aerodynamic surfaces for high instantaneous turns. In the earlier video about the Sukhoi Su-35, we explained why thrust vectoring is so crucial in the high-altitude regime. Since all operational beyond visual range air-to-air missiles lack a thrust vectoring system, such missiles typically have limited maneuvering capabilities in their terminal flight phase. This makes them significantly less effective at hitting high-altitude targets performing high-G evasive maneuvering. Hence, a fighter with advanced TVC and missile approach system suite operating at altitudes of 20 to 25 kilometers would possess a vital countermeasure against both current and future air-to-air missiles. This alone is a very significant advantage a sixth-generation fighter enjoys over most other types. The near certainty of the JXX employing thrust vector control is underscored by the complete absence of tail vertical stabilizers. The aircraft's blended wing design, basically a flying wing, requires TVC to maintain maneuverability in combat operation regimes outside of its primary high-altitude zone of flight. Without vertical stabilizers, the JXX would rely on 3D thrust vectoring to remain sufficiently controllable and agile, particularly in the event of being forced into dogfight scenarios at more conventional altitudes of around 5 to 10 kilometers. The removal of tail vertical stabilizers offers several significant advantages. It improves the aircraft's overall aerodynamics by reducing drag, which directly contributes to higher efficiency and performance. Additionally, it greatly reduces the aircraft's radar cross-section, making it less detectable by adversary radars. This combination of stealth and efficiency, along with the aircraft's low wing loading, enables the JXX to achieve its desired operational altitude and reach its high-performance levels. But why is high-altitude operation so critical? Beyond the previously mentioned benefits, maybe the most important factor is its role in beyond visual range, BVR air combat. At high altitudes, air-to-air missiles launched against enemy fighter jets experience significantly lower drag, which vastly increases their effective range and endgame kinetic energy. Additionally, the elevated operational altitude means that these missiles are launched at a higher initial velocity, further enhancing their maximum speed, potentially approaching a Mach 3 launch with the JXX. When combined with China's advanced air-to-air missile designs and the significant achievements made in radar and sensor technologies in recent years, a robust, reliable, standoff kill chain is enabled. In such a scenario, the JXX would operate far from China's borders, over the Pacific Ocean, dashing towards adversary fighter jet formations at superior altitude and speed, in a so-called F-pole position. It would then launch air-to-air missiles at much greater distances than adversary fighters like the F-35 or even the F-22 could ever hope to do. Like the Sukhoi Su-35 and Su-57, the JXX would then be able to disengage from combat and extend its distance from adversary fighters while still tracking them with its side-mounted radar arrays. This allows for course updating adversary fighter positions to its air-to-air missiles. The advanced radar systems, particularly China's Active Electronically Scanned Array, AESA, radars, made of high-power gallium nitride, GaN, transceiver modules, make it highly unlikely that fighters like the F-35 and F-22 would be able to close in undetected to a range where they could launch a viable attack on the J-36. The technological leap in radar and sensor capabilities China will certainly reach by the early 2030s ensures that the J-36 can remain safely outside the engagement envelope of the opponent's stealth fighters. A historical analogy on effective engagement envelopes when facing high-speed targets can be drawn from the Cold War, when Soviet MiG-31 interceptors attempted to engage the intruding US SR-71 Blackbird. Despite the MiG-31's long-range missiles, the Blackbird's speed of Mach 3+ made it nearly impossible for the interceptors to catch it before the SR-71 exited Soviet airspace. At high speeds and extended ranges, effective air-to-air missile engagement envelopes against receding targets shrink dramatically, especially for smaller air-to-air missiles like the AIM-120 AMRAAM. Given the large internal volume of the J-36 and its ability to carry numerous long-range air-to-air missiles inside its weapons bays, it becomes clear that this sixth-generation fighter will be capable of launching multiple missiles in a salvo, all while staying out of range of US fifth-generation fighters. The implications of this engagement concept are significant, particularly for US air power in the Pacific region, especially concerning missions the first and second island chains. The generational leap represented by the J-36 will have a profound global impact. A single hit-and-run attack by a J-36 in the 2030s could potentially mission-kill entire US F-35 formations long before they approach Chinese airspace. A key factor behind China's decision to develop a manned sixth-generation fighter is the ability of the J-36 to control large drones derived from its technology, drones that would likely share its design philosophy. Equipped with at least 270 degrees of AESA radar coverage, the J-36 would be able to establish robust communication links with forward-deployed drones carrying long-range air-to-air missiles. This capability would be particularly useful in scenarios where long-range and satellite communication systems are degraded or neutralized. China's ongoing production of the Chengdu J-20 proves that it has the industrial base to serial produce the complex J-36 by the early 2030s. The emergence of this new sixth-generation fighter could be a true game-changer, with potentially devastating consequences for fourth and even fifth-generation fighter jets. These earlier-generation aircraft would face severe limitations and challenges encountering the J-36, with very adverse effects on their effective range and the regions they are able to defend. The J-36's technological superiority could represent a substantial shift in the geostrategic balance, particularly in the Pacific region, and could severely undermine US geopolitical strategies aimed at containing China's progress. China's decision to develop such an advanced, sixth-generation fighter design is clearly rooted in preparing for potential future confrontations with the United States. In such scenarios, fighter jets would be required to conduct long-range expeditionary missions over the contested Pacific Ocean, often without substantial support from external assets. The underlying strategic motivation is clear: to prevent the United States from projecting conflict directly onto the Chinese mainland and, instead, neutralize US offensive air power before they can breach the second island chain. Unless the United States develops a similarly advanced next-generation fighter like the Next Generation Air Dominance Program NGAD, aircraft like the F-35, already highly restricted in kinematic performance, could find themselves hopelessly outclassed by the J-36's generational superiority. While the US sixth-generation NGAD demonstrator is reported to have been flown a few years ago, the Chinese usually skip the demonstrator stage due to their step-by-step development and robust, experienced institutions. So that's all for today. If you liked it, give a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. It really makes a difference in the YouTube algorithm and is a great support to the channel. The Real Enthusiast can become members and given access to exciting membership area material. Thanks for your support and motivation. See you next time.